Hey everyone, I welcome you all to this video. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the SQL Server inner join. And in the last video anyways, we have discussed about the inner join, but now we will see in Microsoft SQL Server that how it works. So first of all, I will select the database from here. So at the top, as of now, you can see MasterDB is selected, but we want our tables that we will be creating and we will be using for our analysis. So we want those tables to reside in database named sales database. So I will select it from here. And now we have a piece of code ready and we will be executing that piece of code that will create the two tables for us named table 1 and table 2. And we will then be using those tables to understand the inner join in SQL Server. So I will open the notepad. No need to worry about this. This code will already be provided to you. So I will correct the spelling first of all. So we have inserting and then here as well. Sorry. And then we will change the spelling here as well. All right. So I will copy this piece of code and I will paste it here in query window. I will be providing this code in the resource section. So you can copy it from there. You can first of all create the table so that we can use these tables for analysis. So this piece of code, which is written in line 5, will select the database sales database for us, which is already selected. And then the first piece of code written between line 7 to 14 will create a table with the name table 1. And it will be having two columns. The first column is named C1 and the second column is named C2. And these are the following records that will be inserted in this table, right? And now if I'll talk about the second table, so a second table will be created by the code that will be executed written from line 16 to 23. And this table 2 is consisting of two columns, that is column 1 and column 3. So as of now, we need not do anything. We can just simply click here at line number 2 and we can simply press Ctrl E. This will execute the code for us and you can see 6 rows affected, 6 rows affected. So two new tables were created. The first one is named table 1, second one is named table 2. Now I'll click on new query and let's write different codes to see that how inner join works. So first of all, let's close the Object Explorer as well. It's occupying space. So now I will write select star from table 1 inner join table 2 on table 1 dot column 1 is equal to table 2 dot column 1. So as discussed in the last video, this statement will give the instruction to SQL Server to apply an inner join between table 1 and table 2. And this join has to be applied based on the condition where column 1 from table 1 will be equal to column 1 from table 2, as we discussed in the last video, right? So, and in the output, we will see all the columns from both the tables because we have written select star, right? So that is what this statement will do for us. But before executing this statement, we should write two more statements to see the data contained in table 1 and table 2. So I will write select star from table 1, press enter, select star from table 2. If I will now execute the select statements written in line 2 and 4, if I select them both together and if I'll click on execute, you can see that this is the data that we have. So in the first table, we have two columns, that is C1 and C2. While in the second table, we have two columns, that is C1 and C3. And based on the matching values or common values in the columns C1 of both the tables, the join will be applied and the output will be shown. So this first record from first table, so here we have 1 in column 1, and then for the first record in second table in column 1 we have 1. So these two ones will match with each other and corresponding output will be generated. Similarly, this second one from the first table, column 1 of first table, will match with this first one in column 1 or second table, as we discussed in the last video, and then corresponding records will be shown in output. Similarly, 2 from column 1 of table 1 will match with this 2 that is present in the second record in the table 2, and then this 2, which is present in the column 1 of table 1, will match with the 2 present in third record in table 2 as well, right? As we discussed in the last video. And then null, so join ignores the null values. So based on this, no output will be created. And if I'll talk about this 3 and 7 in column 1 of table 1, so they are present only and only in the column 1 of table 1. So corresponding to 3 and 7, no inner join condition will be met and no output will be shown. Similarly, if I'll talk about 4 and 5 present in column 1 of table 2, so since 4 and 5 are not present in column 1 of table 1, that's why corresponding to this 4 and 5 as well, we will not see anything in the output. Now let's execute the select statement written in line number 7. So first of all, I will select it and I will then execute it. So you can see that we get these 4 columns from these 2 tables. This is column 1 from table 1. This is column 2 from table 1. This is column 1 from table 2. And this is column 3 from table 2. If we will open the PowerPoint presentation that we discussed in the last video, so this was the output that we got. That is going to give us the same output, right? So if I'll show it to you on the same screen, then you can see that clearly these 2 outputs are the same outputs, right? So that's how we can use the inner join. So now let's discuss about some other cases. Let's say we do not want to show all the columns. If I'll just click here and I'll press enter so that you can see clearly, right? Now let's say I do not want that all the columns should be present in output, but let's say we want that only column 1 from table 1, column 2 from table 1, and column 3 from table 2 should be present in the output. So in place of this star, I'll copy this statement again, Control C, and I'll come to line number 10 and I'll paste it here. And now in place of this star, we can write table 1 dot column 1. That is, we want column 1 from table 1 in the output, comma, table 1 dot column 2. So column 2 from table 1, comma, table 2 dot column 3. So we want column 3 from table 2. So in this way, we can write this statement, and let's execute the statement written in line 10 and 11, and let's see what's the output. So you can see that we only have C1, C2, and C3 in output, and C1 came from table 1, C2 came from table 1, and C3 came from table 2. So that has been specified here in the select statement in line number 10. Now we can provide alias names as well for table 1 and table 2. Now how we can do that? So we can simply, first of all, let's write it again. So we can write, first of all, let's write select star, and then we will change the column name. So first of all, let's write select star from table 1. So the table 1 has to be given alias name, let's say small a. So just after writing table 1, you can write small a, right? So table 1 is now being assigned the name A. You can refer to it by using capital A or small a, anything, but because it is case insensitive, but the alias name is A, right? Then we will write inner join table 2, and table 2, let's say we are giving a name table 2 as B. So just after writing table 2, we can write B. So select star from table 1 A, inner join table 2 B. Then we have to provide the join predicate, so we can write on. Now since table 1 will be referred by A, so we can write A dot column 1 is equal to B dot column 1. And if now we will execute the statement written in line 13 and 14, so you can see that we have all the columns in the output. But again, we want only 3 columns in the output. So now this time we will not write all the table names, right? We will simply write, let's say since table 1 will be referred by A, so we want column 1 from A. So we will write A dot column 1, comma, A dot column 2, comma, B dot column 3, right? So we can write the statement in this way. Let's write it in the next slide, right? So if I will now execute the select statement written in line 13, 14, and 15, so you will see that this is going to be the output, right? And we can achieve the output by using the alias name. So it is not required to use the long table names always. So that's why we prefer giving aliases to the tables. And even if you will simply write join in place of inner join, then also it is going to work in the same way. If I will copy the select statement written from line 13 to 15, and let's say if I'll paste it in line 18, and now let's say in place of inner join, we are writing only join. Join is written, that's it. We are not writing inner join. So this will also work. Both of them are going to be same. So if I will now execute the statement written from line 13 to line 19, so two select statements will be executed and both of them will show same output. So here, as of now, you can see that both of them are showing same output, right? So this one, which is written from line 13 to 15, and this one, which is written from line 17 to 19, both of them will show you same output, because you can either write inner join or you can simply write join. So this is how inner join works, right? And this is what we discussed in the last video that you can see on the right hand side. So I hope this video was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. We'll discuss about other kinds of joins. We will discuss about left outer join, right outer join, left anti-join, right anti-join, self-join. So we are going to discuss about all these joins in the upcoming sessions. I hope this video was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.